front, you have national parliaments, and in the middle, it is regional parliamentary forums, and on top, the Pan-African Parliament. If the base is not solid, then the Pan-African Parliament is going to collapse. That is why we are here this morning in this forum, and I'm so happy that all the momentums that you are bringing here will solidify the Pan-African Parliament. So, dear colleagues, it is about to consolidate this way so that we can reach the expected outcomes. So I don't want to waste time to introduce to you the Pan-African Parliament, which is the African Parliament, and you debated so well all the parameters to show that it is showing that most of you know very well this Parliament, but today, it is important that we know that these 2 points, the first one, visibility, the second one, efficiency, so that we can endeavor to do our job in this Pan-African Parliament. So, dear colleagues, this is the objective of our first meeting, so that we can have a timeline for our activities. Because yesterday, the President was saying that we need men, we need research. If we can't find the men that we need here, but we can find them in the Great Lakes, in ECOWAS, we can find them on the eastern side of the continent, so that we can consolidate all our outcomes here, and our sub-regional forums will also be important. So we can, with the same lobbying that we will do, so that the sub-regional parliaments, together with them, we can work together. So, dear colleagues, this is what I had to tell you, to wish you welcome, and also thank you for coming here. So I declare open the debate of our meeting this morning. Thank you. After this introductory word, I open the debate for those who want to speak. We can discuss this framework of our cooperation.
Oui, President.
Yes, President.
Thank you so much, Excellency. The first of its kind. I think we have not had time to meet as regional parliamentary groups or as parliaments on the continent who are fronting for the eventual unity of Africa. This is very crucial because of the thinking that our founding fathers who handed this baton for the integration or unity of Africa framed for us. The creation of African regional blocs or the regional economic communities was a well-conceived idea as a strategy for the eventual unity of the African people. And therefore, I am delighted as East African community, and specifically the legislative wing, to be part of this struggle to see how well we can coordinate the regional blocs legislators to front the unity of the African people. From the East African legislation, our legislative assembly, we have clear suggestions of what we think can be our areas of cooperation with the PAP and also with other regional parliaments and parliamentary forums. The first one, I think, is we must strengthen our fellowship. We must have a structured way in which we meet regularly. When you meet, then you have the capacity to identify challenges and come up with a clear strategies how to deal with them. EALA has got 6 plenaries in one financial year. We meet almost every 2 months. There's a plenary sitting. It is my considered view that in our plenary meetings, we should be inviting PAP and all these parliamentary groups on the continent, at least for the beginning, because we sit always for 2 weeks. And I know other people may be busy with other activities, but the opening day or the first week, I think we should invite all of you to come and attend EALA plenary meetings. Our meetings are on a rotationary basis. We now have 6 countries who are members of the East African Legislative Assembly, but the Republic of South Sudan has not yet deposited the instrument of their membership to the Secretariat in Arusha. So we are so far 5. We sit in Uganda, we sit in Kenya, we sit in Rwanda, Burundi, and of course in Tanzania, our hometown. We will furnish the secretariats of all these parliamentary groups with our annual calendar. And after furnishing you with our annual calendar, we shall also follow it up with the invitations. The second area of cooperation which I find useful is to twin our parliamentary committees that deal with similar matters. If we have a parliamentary committee dealing with, say, the climate change, or issues of investment, or issues of agriculture, or issues of terrorism, things that affect the African people, we can twin those committees such that they cooperate among themselves. Last one from my desk, from the Speaker. The Speaker of East African Legislative Assembly has had consultations with the members of PAP from the partner states. We have agreed to have regular consultations, and so far we have agreed not later than December, I'll call the first meetings of all members of PAP from Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, and South Sudan. The intent of this is to develop network that is strong for lobbying for what PAP needs. One of the things which we have consulted on is to write a petition as PAP members from those 6 countries with EALA to all the heads of state of the 6 countries, requesting them to ratify and deposit the instrument that is needed by PAP to have legislative powers. I am open to other suggestions of how we can strengthen our relationship, but I also want to reaffirm our commitment that we are committed to the struggle to see that the African people are united for their prosperity, and for PAP, we are with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And now let's give the floor to
Unfortunately, he's not using the microphone.
I would like to start by say
I would like
honored we feel to attend this meeting for the first time. Our Parliamentary Forum for the region of Great Lakes is a recent forum. We are at a stage of consolidating our structures and our organizational structure, but I should tell you that we are open to all kind of cooperation with the Pan-African Parliament and with other regional forums. I agree with the suggestions that were submitted by the Speaker of EALA. I would like to add that for us, so that we consolidate and identify our different ways of cooperation, we should establish the need of direct contacts among our executive secretariats so that there is an exchange of opinions. And taking into account our experience as a speaker of the Parliamentary Forum of the Great Lakes Conference, I'm also the speaker of the Angola National Assembly. So we would also like to bring benefits to our internal organs. So my suggestion is that our national departments that deal with external relations and cooperation should be given an opportunity to have direct contacts with the PAP Secretariat so that our work is facilitated. Our struggle is long. This is something that we were discussing yesterday in the statutes, but I believe that we should look at the future with trust and optimism. The important thing is that we should always have our doors open for dialogue. We should be patient. We should be persistent, because objective results that we want to achieve will depend on the way, on how we submit our proposals, our suggestions, so that our heads of states are comfortable. So we should not be in a rush. The important thing is to build on our achievements. I believe that transforming our organ from a consultative organ into a legislative organ is also very important. So we should be intelligent to identify areas in which we can cooperate and we can legislate with authority without giving rise to mistrust or situations that other organs should not be comfortable with. Mr. President, once again, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate you on the way you have been leading the destiny of this important organ. So I want to tell you that you can count on our support, and we are open to have a channel that should be quick and that will help us achieve positive results as quickly as possible. Thank you very much, and I count also on your help and experience. Thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup, cher.
Thank you so much, dear colleagues. As our timetable is loaded, I want to sum up the first contact that we had. I'm joining my colleagues. This work cannot be done if it is not open to all. We need to support one another. And in this regard, I want to support what the president of EALA said. When there is a movement at EALA, we should all be there. So in that way, it will give a good lesson to all those. There are others who say, these people are together. What are they looking for? So secondly, we need to deal with the same topics. So every part will bring their inputs. And thirdly, we need to meet regularly. We can't do. We can say, as it is currently being said, that it is a regional association. It should be an association where all the presidents, we can meet, so we can say, well, this is what I want to, this is the topic that I want to use for my meeting, and then ask the others if they can contribute, bring their inputs. In that way, all of us, we are going to work together, and so we will debate African issues. So, because I think the best way of managing our continent, it is to divide. So they will say, this is Pan-African Parliament, there it is ECOWAS, and but if we know that we are all doing the same job and supported by the national parliaments, it will be a good thing. I suggest that at the end of this meeting, these are the ideas. The first one, put up an association of regional presidents of so that that alliance or association we can meet regularly and talking about the topics. So we will ask the president of EALA to formalize the text so that when he finishes, we can solemnly adopt our alliance. And from now on, we'll be working on the basis of that alliance. I don't know, dear colleagues, if you have something to add on that. Otherwise, this is a start. We are just laying the foundation. We know the issues, how to solve them. That's why it is important for us to meet in an alliance or association where we can debate our issues. Dear colleagues, this is what I am giving as a proposal, and
Speaker of EALA, who can prepare all the text they send for us. ECOWAS, we are just ended. We can summarize for you, please. Who can prepare everything, and he fixed the next session, our next meeting, and we continue. So I think it's better. Let me summarize the Speaker of ECOWAS, who is just arrived. I think it's a problem of traffic. Excellence, Monsieur le Président.
His Excellency, the President of ECOWAS, we met and you and the President of the SADC and CEMAC and EALA and the Pan-African Parliament President. So we have talked together. We have noticed that we are all fighting for one cause, but we did not deal things in a good way. So we need to put together in an association so that when you have an activity, all of us will come and meet. You tell us, I'm going to deal with this issue, which corresponds to the area of activity that is put in place, so that when people see us in a group talking about the same issue, it will show that these people are debating an African issue. So we don't want to be just sending invitations. We want it to be an association, so that when one makes a timetable, share with others so that we can all prepare our agendas, prepare our meetings with our states. For example, if I need to see a president, the president of Tanzania, in the EALA or ECOWAS or in the Great Lakes, he can take me there so that we can talk the same issue. It will ease things. So our colleagues, deputies, we see that sometimes they don't have time to see the heads of state. But if I'm coming and I want to go with you, then it will show that it is a serious issue. They are in two different organizations, but speaking around one topic. So we decided the creation of that association. We told the president of EALA to put up in place that matter so that we can condone that and adopt that. As on the 22nd, if we meet in Abuja, we can be together. You'll introduce the Great Lakes is there, EALA is there, and everybody will see that, it will create an awareness to everyone. So, so if you also have something to add, you can just bring it on. Otherwise, I want to apologize because I came here late because of the traffic. But I do adhere to this proposal as for us as parliamentaries, we need to talk one voice. And I take this opportunity to invite the presidents of these sub-regional organizations in Abuja on the 22nd of September I think I'll have an opportunity to receive the president of ECOWAS. He promised to be there, Sir Ellen Johnson. So we can discuss about these issues when you arrive there to deepen our insight. So I think it is a very good proposal. We need to adopt it as quick as possible and to put pressure on the executive, because we can't cross our hands. We need to play our roles as representatives of the populations of the region. So I think that I need to congratulate you and encourage you, because there's a great effort in your your organizations have started now growing, and we need to commit with all the ECOWAS deputies, see how we can convince the ECOWAS presidents to quickly ratify the protocol. So, dear colleagues, I want to thank you for participating to this meeting, and I thank you for a great welcome. Thank you, dear colleagues. As you know, in my country...
Mr. President, for the interjection, but you've given me an assignment. As EALA will take up the leadership, interim leadership for this association, and I would like to assure that Africa is late in many things. So I'll call this meeting in the next 3 months of the heads of this.
You have an appointment first
in Abuja.
In Abuja.
That one I've already confirmed.
In Abuja, we can continue to deal.
Yep.
And then in 3 months, if you call the meeting, it will be to finalize.
That's right.
Excuse me. So I'm trying to say that we are going to Abuja. We are all together to attend the ECOWAS summit, a session, and then we can continue to deal, to be able to make a brainstorming if there are new ideas with it. But after that, after 3 months, you call us to approve what you are doing. And I am trying to say in French, in my country, when you go in the bush alone, when you are alone, you are always, somebody can always fight you, and nobody knows. But in our continent, there are a lot of resistance. So if you try to fight this resistance alone, it will be very difficult for you. But if you are in the group, and this person said that all this group speak about one thing, I think we can arise. For me, it's very, very clear. We are not go to fight our head of state. Only to say, we are here, we need to work. Give us the opportunity to work for the interests of Africa. Not for us. Not because you give me salary. No. What is what I'm doing for the continent? What Pan-African Parliament did now in the continent? So what is this kind of a question? I appreciate. Like when we was in Abuja, we can meet Madam, the head of state, try to deal with her to say, no, we are not here to fight. We are not here to take power. We are there to consolidate your power. So I think in this kind of consideration, we will arise to do something. I thank you very much. So now our meeting is closed. We are go directly in the chamber while the speaker are wet off to the closing ceremony. Thank you very much, member of the press, member interpret. So tomorrow.